Hello, friends. I want to try to keep this to 5, 6, 7 minutes. Probably be pretty hard because um, there is, as I say every day, there's so much going on right now and so much chicanery and wickedness and evil being performed by what I call the mainstream media government juggernaut and the New World Order that they're working for and have been for a long time. And I've talked about that in other videos, but I'm going to try to simplify this maybe if there's one point I want people that might be listening to this to get is that, and here's where I'm going with this, is that Hitler, it was said, he wrote the book Mein Kampf, which means my struggle. I think he wrote it either when he was in prison or when he got out of prison. I think it was published in about 1920 or 24. So several years before he seized the reins of power in Germany, which I believe was about 1933. And I remember reading a historian commenting about Mein Kampf, and he said, in this book, Hitler basically laid out his plan for what he would do as the leader of Germany, i.e. taking care of what he called the Jewish problem, the economy, manufacturing, blah, blah, blah. And never read the book. I've read excerpts of it. And the guy said, Hitler basically told us 10 years in advance or 15 years in advance what he's going to do. And he pretty much either did it or tried to do it. And everyone was shocked and surprised. So fast forward to 2017, that October, Trump said that a storm is coming. And a press person said, well, Mr. Trump, what do you mean a storm is coming? He said, you'll see. I've been warning people about that for at least 2 years when I found out that he had said that. And again, that was October 2017. Then, of course, he sends us a presidential text alert, which I expect any day now to be invoked, which will be related to what I'm about to tell you, I believe. And that was a year later. Well, friends, I don't think anybody can disagree if I make the statement that this storm that Trump said was coming about 2.5 years ago, October 2017, if what we're seeing before us in the world today is not that storm, I know nothing, and nor do you. It's obviously the storm that he knew was coming, and obviously if he knew it was coming, he was in on the whole planning of it, the execution of it, et cetera, et cetera. He was kept abreast of all these things. Otherwise, he wouldn't have said that. He's not a prophet, clearly. The only other way he would have been, if he were a prophet, then you could say, well, Trump was a prophet. He just knew it was going to happen. Well, Trump's definitely not a prophet. I would say more akin to Snake Plissken of To Get Out of New York, that movie with Kurt Russell, or Flee New York or something. I can't remember the title right now. The one character that was able to get out of New York, his name was Snake Plissken. What a name, huh? So anyway, Trump is more akin to Snake Plissken than a prophet. I mean, so Trump knew about this. Well, the last 2 days of the press conferences, he's been saying, I just watched the same one again, and I think he used the word, there's going to be, the word death about 5, 6 times, like one after the other. There's going to be a lot of death. Yep, a lot of death, a lot of death, a lot of death. And I know he does repeat himself a lot, but he made it pretty, and he also said this could be the roughest 2 weeks, and I think he started saying that like 2 days ago. Today's April 7th. And roughest 2 weeks perhaps we've ever had in the country's history. And I don't think he said this, although he might have, but it might have been somebody else, working with him, either in the White House or associated with him, that said that, it's going to be like 9/11 and Pearl Harbor. Okay, well, both of those were false flag events, a lot of death and destruction. In other words, Hitler said this is what he's going to do. He did it. Trump said a storm is coming. The storm has come. So if Trump said a couple days ago that we're going to go through a lot of death in the next 2 weeks, going to be the hardest time maybe in American history, and then somebody mentioned Pearl Harbor or 9/11. Well, friends, based on the first two scenarios I told you, this might be the only area that I believe Trump. Okay, I haven't believed him about anything he said from day one, and I'm not an Obama fan. I think he's the same Masonic Antichrist spirit, so I believe that this is the only time I really believe that Trump, to believe him. So when he said a storm is coming, I kept warning people on Facebook and other areas, other venues, Trump said a storm is coming, people, and he's working for the New World Order. So it's probably going to be another false flag event. Well, this is definitely, the whole COVID-19 thing is one giant false flag event / hoax / psychological operations. Hello, how are you? I've got to keep my eye on the road here. So thanks for the 1, 2, 3, 4 handful of you that are tuning in. I just have a lot to share. And the Lord has given me wisdom about some of these things. And I say some of these things. We all see through a glass darkly. But this is an area that I've been interested in. When I say area, I mean prophecy as it relates to geopolitics as it relates to prophecy. And it's just been something I've been paying attention to. I'm not a scholar. I'm not an expert in any of this. But I believe that God has given me a lot of wisdom about the basic outline and tenor and the movement of where it's going and who the key players are and so on and so forth. And I want to share that with you. And I hope that you, I don't really care if you appreciate it. I just would like your ear and maybe pass it on. I don't care if you're passing a video on, but pass the information on to your friends and family and loved ones and start tracking these things for yourself. So I guess I'm about done, hopefully, is that I believe that part 2 of this current false flag giant event that's going on worldwide, part 2 might start unfolding here today, tomorrow, quite soon. He said in the next 2 weeks. So the only other possibility would be, and I hope this is what is really happening or what's going to happen, is that Trump might have been saying, death, 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 and like Pearl Harbor, he might have been setting us up for these horrible expectations. And then, suddenly everything's just kind of quiet, everything flatlines, the number of cases and deaths go way down. They're not even close, by the way, to a lot of the pandemic flu events we've had the last 10 years, but that's a whole other videotape. But so I'm hoping he's setting us up with these horrible expectations and then have it end up being just a very, good news. And because he did say, after he said that, he said, well, we hope to do way better. We hope it's not going to be as bad as we think it's going to be. So maybe that's what's going on. So please don't say that I'm saying that there's definitely going to be another Pearl Harbor / 9/11 false flag attack, whether it's a nuke in Manhattan or, them blowing up the dam in Utah, whatever. There are a lot of scenarios that people have floated over the years, and any one of them could still happen. So that's about all. But, so when these evil people say they're going to do this or that, pretty much take it to the bank that that's, they're going to either attempt to do it or they are going to do it and they're going to pull it off. So today I'm not in, I'm not out, I'm not even sideways, but I am Stevie from South Dakota. Thank you.